Hello and welcome to the West Asia Post. I am Rhythm Sharma, bringing you the biggest flashpoints from the world's most volatile region. In this episode, we tell you how the possibility of an all-out war between US and Iran is sending shockwaves around the world and how the two sides are preparing for a potential conflict. We decode how Hamas is seeking role for its police and civil servants in the Gaza Strip ahead of the disarmament talks. We also talk about Russia's power play in West Asia, President Putin hosted Syria's Ahmad al-Shara, and high on the agenda was Russia's military presence in the region. All this and more, but first, the headlines. President Donald Trump has to make a crucial decision. Will he order a strike on Iran? Attacking the country could spark a firestorm. Tehran has unveiled a chilling warning poster showing American warships sinking beneath missile strikes. And military experts say Iran has the firepower to make the threat real. Now the question keeping Pentagon strategists awake is, can the Islamic Republic actually sink a US aircraft carrier? We tell you more.
An American aircraft carrier slicing through West Asian waters looks unstoppable. Nuclear-powered, bristling with weapons, protected by layers of steel, radar and firepower. But against Iran, power alone does not guarantee safety. The carrier strike group includes the Airley Burke-class destroyers USS Frank E. Peterson Jr., USS Michael Murphy and USS Spruance. A carrier strike group can also include a nuclear-powered submarine. However, its deployment or location has been kept classified. The Abraham Lincoln carries dozens of planes and helicopters, including F-18 and stealth F-35 fighter jets, and EA-18 Growler electronic warfare planes. There is no doubt that President Donald Trump has significant firepower at his disposal if he decides to strike Iran. Donald Trump is urging Iran to agree to a deal.
And by the way, there's another beautiful armada floating beautifully toward Iran right now. So we'll see. I hope they make a deal.
On paper, the numbers are intimidating. The carrier group can track hundreds of targets at once. Its Aegis combat systems can intercept more than 60 incoming missiles and drones in a coordinated attack. But Iran has the firepower to surprise the world's mightiest military. Tehran's strength lies in saturation. Swarms, not single strikes, hundreds of drones, barrage of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles fired from deep inland fast attack boats. Sea mines. The goal is simple: overwhelm the differences, force mistakes, exploit a gap. Military analysts warn that even the most advanced carrier becomes vulnerable if the volume of incoming threats exceeds interception capacity. A few missiles slipping through could cripple the armada. But targeting the nuclear-powered USS Abraham Lincoln will not be easy. Nimitz-class aircraft carrier has the ability to move at speeds of over 25 knots, with frequent changes in direction to avoid any predictable patterns. Iran has hypersonic missiles, but to hit a moving target, real-time targeting information is required, which Iran does not have. However, even if one Iranian projectile manages to breach the multi-layered defenses and hit the aircraft carrier, it would be a big, humiliating setback for the world's most powerful military. The Pentagon knows the risks and is treading cautiously. While nuclear reactors allow the ship to steam for 20 years without refueling, the maintenance is specialized and costly. It costs approximately $6 million every single day just to keep a supercarrier active. So Trump needs to decide soon on his course of action. Iranian authorities unveiled a new mural on a giant billboard in a central Tehran square. The image shows an aircraft carrier with exploding fighter planes and bodies strewn across. Tehran warns that it is ready for talks, but prepared for war as well.
We possess extraordinary defensive capabilities. We are far more prepared than before. It is our duty and responsibility to defend Iran's pride, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. As we have shown before, against any aggression or threat, we will respond fiercely and comprehensively with all our strength.
Iran has vowed to retaliate against any American attack, saying that its finger is on the trigger. There are US bases and facilities dotted along the Arabian side of the Gulf, notably in Bahrain and Qatar. Washington acknowledges these risks.
We have 30 to 40,000 American troops stationed across 8 or 9 facilities in that region. All are within the reach, theoretically, not theoretically, in reality, all are within the reach of an array of thousands of Iranian one-way UAVs and Iranian short-term ballistic missiles, short-range ballistic missiles that threaten our troop presence.
Tehran has an estimated 2,000 mid-range ballistic missiles that can reach across the region and strike as far as Israel. It also has significant stockpiles of short-range missiles capable of reaching US bases in the Gulf and ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The US has Patriot and THAAD anti-missile systems stationed throughout the region. During the 12-day war in June 2025, Iran had fired 550 ballistic missiles at Israel. Iran also launched 1,000 drones at Israel, though most of them were successfully intercepted. But the few which streaked past the defenses caused death and destruction. That war showed that even the world's most advanced anti-missile systems can be penetrated. Donald Trump has compared any potential action in Iran to America's capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, vowing he could carry out any mission with speed and violence. But Iran is no Venezuela. Both Washington and Tehran have closely studied each other and have prepared for the D-Day. Attacking Iran means accepting casualties that America has not seen since Vietnam. It means risking the unthinkable, losing a carrier, losing soldiers, and triggering a regional war that could drag on for years.
West Asia is heating up, and Iran's proxies are making sure the world notices. From Yemen to Iraq, Iranian-backed militias are signaling they could launch new attacks just as US warships surround the region and President Donald Trump warns of military action on Iran. After sitting out Israel's recent war with Iran, these groups are now speaking loudly, even as Iran faces its deadliest internal crisis in decades. We tell you what's driving the threats and why the stakes are rising so fast.
Two Iranian-backed militias stretching across West Asia are now rattling their sabers in what appears to be a show of support for Tehran. In Yemen, the Houthi rebels have released a short, ominous video, a ship in flames, with a single word, soon. A clear signal they may resume attacks on Red Sea shipping after months of quiet following a ceasefire in Gaza. Hezbollah has issued a clear warning of an intense attack if US attacks Iran.
A war on Iran this time will ignite the region. The assassination is an assassination of stability in the region and the world. We consider the threat to be directed at us as well.
In Iraq, the message is even more direct. Kataib Hezbollah, a powerful Iran-backed paramilitary group, has warned that any attack on Iran would spark what it calls a total war across the region. The timing is no accident. These threats come as the US aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and its escorting warships have reached West Asia. During Israel's 12-day war with Iran in June, including US strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, these same militia stayed out of the fight. A sign of the growing disarray with Iran's so-called axis of resistance. Once a key tool for projecting power across the region, now badly weakened. Israel has hit Hamas, Hezbollah and other Iran-aligned groups hard since the Gaza war began. Syria, long a strategic pillar for Iran, has slipped from Tehran's grip after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Inside Iran, the situation is even more fragile. The country is still reeling from the June conflict. Its air defense is damaged, top military commanders killed, and key nuclear sites bombed by the United States. Iran has now restricted small private aircraft from its airspace, a rare security move as Western airlines steer clear of Iran altogether. And all of this is playing out against the backdrop of Iran's deadliest internal unrest in decades. Protests that began over a collapsing currency have turned into a nationwide uprising met with a brutal crackdown and a weeks-long internet blackout. Washington is watching closely, warning that Iran's actions at home and abroad could have serious consequences. As Iran issues threats, its proxies post warning videos, and US warships close in.
The battle over power is intensifying. As the peace deal moves to the second phase, Hamas is now pushing to shape what comes next, seeking to keep its police force and civil servants inside any future governing authority. The move comes as the United States pushes a new administration for Gaza, one designed to exclude Hamas, and as Israel demands full demilitarization of the Strip. With disarmament talks and the future of Gazans all hanging in the balance, the question now is, who really runs Gaza after the war?
Hamas is seeking to integrate its 10,000-strong police force into a new US-backed Palestinian administration for Gaza, a demand that risks derailing delicate post-war arrangements and angering Israel. Reports say the request comes as Hamas debates whether and how it could give up its weapons under a ceasefire deal brokered by US President Donald Trump. Under the October ceasefire, Hamas still controls just under half of Gaza. Further Israeli troop withdrawals are tied directly to the group's disarmament. The next phase of the deal envisages Gaza being handed over to the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, or NCAG. a technocratic body with US oversight, designed specifically to exclude Hamas from power. Hamas has urged its more than 40,000 civil servants and security staff to cooperate with the new body while promising to secure their place in the future administration. That includes the Hamas-run police force, which has been patrolling parts of Gaza as the group reasserts control. Israel, however, has repeatedly said there can be no role for Hamas in Gaza's future. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made it clear that the next phase of the deal is not about reconstruction, but about demilitarization and disarming Hamas. The Trump administration wants heavy weapons decommissioned immediately, with personal arms registered and phased out as new security structures take shape. Hamas says it is open to discussions, including the possibility of neutralizing its arsenal, but insists any disarmament must be linked to a serious political process towards Palestinian statehood. Analysts say Hamas is still believed to hold hundreds of rockets and thousands of small arms. Other militant groups in Gaza are also armed and fear being left defenseless.
Russia is making it clear it is not leaving West Asia anytime soon. In Moscow, the Kremlin has opened its doors to Syria's new president, signaling that even after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, Russia intends to hold its ground militarily and politically. From Syria's Mediterranean coast to the desert air bases of Libya, this is Moscow's power play, adapting, consolidating, and expanding its regional footprint. Here's what President Putin and Al-Shara's meeting means.
Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed Syria's President Ahmad al-Shara to the Kremlin this week, a meeting that put Russia's military future in Syria front and center. This was al-Shara's second visit to Moscow since his coalition ousted Bashar al-Assad in December 2024. A moment many believed would end Russia's era in Syria, but it did not. Russia has since withdrawn from Qamishli airport in northeast Syria, a move Damascus interprets as a goodwill signal. And a way for Moscow to avoid being dragged into fighting between Syrian forces and the Kurdish-led SDF. But the core of Russia's strategy remains intact. Russia is seeking to preserve its two most strategic bases in West Asia, the Maimim Air Base and the Tartus Naval Facility on Syria's Mediterranean coast, critical for projecting power across the region. Putin publicly praised al-Shara's push to restore Syria's territorial integrity, a strong political endorsement of the new leadership.
We've been closely monitoring your efforts to restore Syria's territorial integrity. I want to congratulate you on the fact that this process is gaining momentum. We have always advocated for the restoration of Syria's territorial integrity. You know this, and we support all your efforts in this direction.
According to reports, talks also covered Iran, Israel, and security in southern Syria, with Damascus seeking Russian involvement to deter Israeli incursions. When Assad fell, Western analysts predicted Russia would shift its weight to Libya. That plan was ready. Over the past year, Russia has built a logistical transit network across eastern and southern Libya, using air bases at Al-Khadim, Al-Jufra, Brak al-Shati, and Matem al-Sara, supporting operations deep into Africa. The message from Moscow is unmistakable. Russia may have lost Assad, but it has not lost West Asia.
Turkey is preparing for a possible crisis on its eastern border. As Iran is shaken by deadly protests and economic turmoil, Ankara is working on contingency plans in case the situation in Tehran spirals out of control. Turkish officials have told lawmakers that they are ready to take extraordinary steps, including measures on the Iranian side of the border to prevent a new wave of Iranian refugees from entering the country. We decode what is happening in Turkey.
Turkey is weighing extraordinary measures along its border with Iran as fears grow over a possible breakdown of authority in Tehran. According to reports,
Senior officials from Turkey's foreign ministry briefed lawmakers this week in a closed-door session at parliament, laying out multiple scenarios, including the risk of a mass Iranian refugee influx. Reporters say Ankara made it clear that preventing another migration crisis is a top priority. Turkey might be planning a buffer zone as a step that could be taken on the Iranian side of the border to stop people from crossing into Turkey. Turkey is prepared to go well beyond its usual border policies to keep any potential refugee wave out. The Defense Ministry has already significantly fortified the 560-kilometer border with Iran. Turkey is also offering mediation between the United States and Iran. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan has said Ankara opposes any foreign intervention in Iran and is urging diplomacy. US President Donald Trump has sent mixed signals, at one point threatening Tehran, then saying he is open to talks. For Ankara, the fears are shaped by experience. The 2003 invasion of Iraq and the Syrian civil war left Turkey dealing with hundreds of thousands of refugees, straining its economy and fueling domestic political tensions. Turkish society remains highly sensitive to migration, even as some of the 2.7 million Syrians in the country begin returning home. Officials estimate that a full-scale conflict between Iran and Israel could push up to 1 million Iranians toward the Turkey border. Sources say Ankara would only accept those in urgent humanitarian need, ending any open-door approach.
Today, we take you to a place that has been quietly challenging what we think we know about the beginning of human society. In southeastern Turkey stands Göbekli Tepe, a site so old that it predates agriculture, pottery, and permanent settlements. Built more than 11,000 years ago, Göbekli Tepe was constructed at a time when humans were believed to live as small, mobile hunter-gatherer groups. And yet, what survives here is monumental and carefully planned. The new evidences from the ancient site force us to reconsider one basic assumption. Did civilization really begin with farming, or did something else come first?
Göbekli Tepe is located in southeastern Turkey, overlooking plains that 11,000 years ago would have been full of wild animals and edible plants. The site was noticed in the 1960s, but for years no one realized what it actually was. When scientists finally dated it, they were stunned. The stone structures were built between 9600 and 8200 BCE, making Göbekli Tepe the oldest known monumental site in the world. What archaeologists found were huge T-shaped stone pillars arranged in large circles. Some of these pillars are 5 meters tall and weigh as much as 50 tons. The pillars are carved with animals, foxes, snakes, scorpions, boars, birds, and lions. Some even have arms and hands, making them look strangely human without showing faces. Here's why this matters. The people who built Göbekli Tepe were not farmers. They did not live in cities. They were hunter-gatherers, people we once thought lived in small short-term groups. And yet, building this site would have required planning, organization, and large number of people working together over many years. There are no fireplaces here, no cooking areas, no signs of daily life. Archaeologists point out that this place was not a place to live, but a place to gather. Remains of food back this up. Most bones found here are from wild animals, mainly gazelle. The plants were wild cereals, not farmed crops. These people were still hunting and gathering even as they built monuments. In 2023, archaeologists found a life-size stone boar lying between the pillars. with traces of red, white and black paint still visible. A reminder that this place was once full of color, symbols and meaning we are still trying to understand. Today, Göbekli Tepe is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Only a small part has been excavated so far, and every new discovery raises more questions.
Thank you for watching the West Asia Post. I am Ridham Sharma. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup. For major global updates, keep watching WION World is One.
Where darkness hides behind every